Mukunda Murari, Rama Krishna Hare Desi Kavana Srimad Sudama Rajendra Chaitanya Gopam Yamuna Divana Devi Parayana Mother Chandra Charan Namasudharata Gal Krishna Gajara Kovacha Manamora Vibhavarisha Alokaprarisha Nilachari Uttadriva Olo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hare Namo Viṣṇu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Yadisheta Shunyavadi Vachadyana Chakarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivastava Gaura Bhattarinda Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivastava Gaura Bhattarinda Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Книга Кришны, Верховная Личность Бога, глава 6. Смерть Путаны. Продолжение.
Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Chapter 6, Pūtanās killed. Continuation.
Старшие гопи Вриндавана были настолько поглощены любовью Кришны, что хотели
Elder
оградить
gopis of
его от
Vrindavana
беды,
were so absorbed
хотя
in
необходимости
affection
в
for
этом не
Krishna
было.
that they wanted to save him, although there was no need to,
Он уже и так
for
защитил
he had
себя
already
сам.
protected
Они
himself.
не сознавали, что Кришна — это
They
Верховный
could not
Господь,
understand that Krishna was
играющий
the
роль
Supreme
ребенка.
Personality of Godhead playing as a child.
Завершив обряды,
After
назначенные
performing
для
the
защиты
formalities to
Кришны,
protect the child,
Яшода взяла
Mother
его на руки
Yaśodā
и
took
дала ему
Krishna
в
and
грудь.
let him suck her breast.
Теперь, когда ребенок был
When the child was
защищен
protected
Viṣṇu-мантрой,
by Viṣṇu mantra,
Яшода
Mother
считала, что
Yaśodā
он в
felt that he
безопасности.
was safe.
К тому
In the
времени все
meantime, all the
пастухи,
coward men who
отправившиеся в
had gone
Матхуру,
to
чтобы
Mathura to pay
заплатить
tax
налоги,
returned home
вернулись домой и были
and
поражены
were
видом
struck with wonder
гигантского
at seeing
трупа
the
Путаны.
gigantic dead body of Pūtanā.
Махараджа Нанда вспомнил пророчество Васудевы и подумал, что то должно быть
Nanda
великий
Maharaj
мудрец,
recalled the prophecy
йог,
of Vasudeva and considered
обладающий
him
мистической
a
силой.
great sage and mystic
Иначе как он
yogi.
мог
Otherwise, how
предсказать то,
could
что
he have
случилось в Вриндаване
foretold an
в отсутствие
incident that
пастухов?
happened during his absence from
Жители
Vrindavana?
Враджа разрубили
After
гигантское
this,
тело Путаны
all
на
the
куски,
residents of Raja cut the
сложили на
gigantic body
костер
of
и
Pūtanā into
подожгли.
pieces and
Когда тело
piled it
Путаны
up
загорелось,
with wood for burning.
поднявшийся
When
от
all the limbs
костра
of
дым
Pūtanā's body were
наполнил
burning, the
воздух
smoke
ароматом
emanating
агуру.
from the fire created a good aroma of
Запах
aguru.
агуру появился потому,
This
что
aroma
Путану
was
убил
due
Кришна.
to her being killed
Это
by
означало,
Krishna.
что ведьма
This
Путана
means that the
полностью
demon
очистилась
Pūtanā was
от
washed
всех
of
своих
all her
грехов
sinful
и
activities
обрела
and
небесное
attained a
тело.
celestial body.
Верховный
Here
Господь
is an
беспричинно
example of
милостив.
how the Supreme Personality
Путана
of Godhead is all good.
пришла, чтобы убить
Pūtanā
Кришну.
came to kill Krishna,
Но
but
поскольку он
because
пил
he
ее
sucked her
молоко, она
milk,
тотчас
she was
очистилась,
immediately
и ее
purified,
мертвое тело
and
приобрело
her dead body attained
неземные
a
качества.
transcendental quality.
При жизни ее
Her only business was to
единственным
kill
занятием было убивать маленьких
small
детей.
children. She was
Она
only
жила,
fond of
питаясь их
blood.
кровью. И все
But
же,
in
несмотря
spite
на
of
свою
being
ненависть
envious of
к Кришне,
Krishna,
Путана
she
обрела
attained
спасение,
salvation because
потому
she
что
gave
накормила
her
Кришну
milk to
своим
him to
молоком.
drink.
Что же,
So
когда
what
говорить
can
о
be
тех,
said of
кто
those
по-матерински
who are
относится к
affectionate
Кришне,
to Krishna in the
кто
relationship of
всегда
mother,
с
who
большой
with
любовью
great
и
love and
преданностью
affection
служат
always
Ему,
serve him, the Supreme
Верховной
Personality
Личности
of
Бога
Godhead,
и
and the
Сверхдуше,
Super Soul of
пребывающей в
every living
сердце
entity.
всех живых существ. Личность Бога и Сверхдуша одновременно пребывающая в сердце живых существ.
Prabhupada says the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Super Soul.
Сверхдуша, его проявление в сердце каждого живого существа.
We should remember that Super Soul is in every living entity. Otherwise, it will be the consciousness of some sect. He is in the heart of every living being, and he creates this variety that we cannot understand. This variety of cultures, countries, languages, of food. What else is different? Well, perhaps climate and birth in different parts of the world, different conditions. There can be different educational conditions. That's why we understand why some people worship one God and others another one. They try to realize God in all His demonstrations. But who is He in fact? God exists in their imagination. But if God realizes His God, the God in His heart, he understands that this God in his heart isn't material. He is not Russian, for example. He is in the heart of every living entity. He knows all the languages. He knows all the cultures. We should understand what is the culture from his point of view, with his knowledge. We don't understand why do people worship God in different ways. But in this variety there is all the necessary. If we can realize the super soul in our heart, we could realize the super soul in the heart of every living entity. It is concluded, therefore, that even a little energy expended in the service of the Lord gives one immense transcendental profit. This is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Devotional service in Krishna consciousness is so sublime that even a little service rendered to Krishna, knowingly or unknowingly, gives one the greatest transcendental benefit. The system of worshipping Krishna by offering flowers from a tree is also beneficial for the living entity who is confined to the bodily existence of the tree. When flowers and fruits are offered to Krishna, the tree that bore them also receives much benefit indirectly. The archana process of worshipping procedure is therefore beneficial for everyone. Krishna is worshipable by great demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. And Pūtanā was so fortunate that the same Krishna played in her lap as a little child. The lotus feet of Krishna, which are worshipped by great sages and devotees, were placed on the body of Pūtanā. People worship Krishna and offer him food with great reverence and devotion. But automatically he sucked the milk from the body of Pūtanā. Devotees therefore pray that if simply by offering something as an enemy, Pūtanā got so much benefit, then who can measure the benefit of worshipping Krishna in love and affection? Therefore, only Krishna should be worshipped, for so much benefit awaits the worshipper. At least for the benefit we should do that. But it shouldn't be a material benefit. That's what perplexes materialistic people. If we do puja today, and today we get a couple of $1,000, I'm sure if it will be paid, materialistic people would do that. People do a lot of foolish things for money. Well, how much evil do they do for money? But we could do such a pleasant thing as puja. But here the benefit is different. Krishna steals materialistic desires. It's a wonderful process because the name of Krishna speeds up everything, materialistic development as well as spiritual one. In the beginning, we even cannot say who is who in the beginning of devotional service. But with time, differences become apparent. But in the beginning, the mercy is equal. Everybody are in ecstasy, singing, trying to do anything. Everybody get the same amount at the beginning. But afterwards they spend it in different ways. Devotees get energy from Krishna to sing and preach. Demons also get energy from Krishna. This is his energy. How they get agitated during kirtans. What's going on? Hey! We organize ISKCON, they organize something different. The energy is the same, but we spend it differently. We work with it. We use this mercy of Krishna that is constant. Even we do Bhagavatam classes in the mornings. That is an enormous mercy. This is the practice for Paramahamsas. So imagine what results can be there. We need a lot of subtle common sense. How should we use it? We can use it in the material world as well, but devotees, they don't do that. But in spiritual sense, we should use that. Spiritual energy is higher than material one. We should do more than materialistic people. Not only sit and chant our rounds. We should do a lot of things to glorify Krishna, to show materialistic people their real place, to take revenge of them. They are very active, but actively they go to hell. Where is hell? Where does hell come from? Krishna created it. It is said that even this materialistic person unconsciously talks to Krishna as Pūtanā. She should have gone to hell, but she gave Krishna her breast. Well, she got the mercy. The mercy is equal. That's why we spread Krishna's name, Krishna books, because all people should get mercy. Although Pūtanā was an evil spirit, she gained elevation, just like the mother of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is clear that the cows and the elder gopis who offered milk to Krishna were also elevated through the transcendental position. Krishna can offer anyone anything, from liberation to anything materially conceivable. Therefore, there cannot be any doubt of the salvation of Pūtanā, whose bodily milk was sucked by Krishna for such a long time. And how can there be any doubt about the salvation of the gopis who were so fond of Krishna? Undoubtedly, all the gopis, cowherd boys, cows, and everyone else who served Krishna in Vrindavana with love and affection were liberated from the miserable condition of material existence. When all the inhabitants of Vrindavana smelled the good aroma from the smoke, here the Gopas and Gopis are mentioned here. And these are the Gopas and Gopis who came from the material world, who were elevated. Because there are such Gopis and Gopas who are ever liberated. But there are other gopis who made this path of a lot of lives to get a position of gopi. Well, now they started to offer Krishna milk, and that was all their practice. But it only seems so simple, because milk means love. So they received that body in the form of which they could emanate this love. These are great devotees who realized themselves as the small part of God, and all their essence was filled with love, and it was seen in this milk. Cows gave milk because they loved Krishna. Gopis gave breast to Krishna. All the gopis came to give breast to Krishna, give milk to Krishna. That was normal. that was okay, because this mother feeling was very strong. Sometimes children change their mothers. Like any other mother can feed another child. So they get this honor. Those great sages of the past, they got this honor to give milk to Krishna. So we can serve by words and also by milk. Milk is a part of our body. That means that they got the spiritual body. When the inhabitants of Vrindavana smelled the good aroma from the smoke of the burning Pūtanā, they inquired from each other, "Where is this good fragrance coming from?" And while conversing, they came to understand that it was the fumes of the burning Pūtanā. They were very fond of Krishna, and as soon as they heard that the demon Pūtanā had been killed by Krishna, they offered blessings to the little child out of affection. After the burning of Pūtanā, Nanda Maharaja came home and immediately took up the child on his lap and began to smell his head. In this way, he was quite satisfied that his little child was saved from this great calamity. Everybody worried, but the smell of Krishna's head smoothed them. Srila Shukadeva Goswami has given a blessing to all persons who hear the narration of the killing of Pūtanā by Krishna. They will surely attain the favor of Govinda. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 6th chapter of Krishna, Pūtanā killed. After that goes the series of demons who attack Krishna. Pūtanā was the first one. They all came to Vrindavan to kill Krishna. Now she's dead. Pūtanā's dead. Kamsa is worried. They were bounded in some way, Kamsa and Pūtanā. Just in the same way as devotees are connected to each other. Well, Pūtanā was a very good demon, very strong demon. And now it was a great loss for Kamsa. The 7th chapter, who can tell the name of the 7th chapter? It is called Hare Krishna. It's our organization. The salvation of Trinavarta. Trinavarta. Devotees don't know anything. When I was doing the test to get the Brahmana initiation, I was prepared. There was the group of Soviet, post-Soviet devotees who got initiation in different times. But we came for the first time to see our Guru. We didn't have any temples, no communication, no association with Gurus. So we got a lot of mercy from the Maharajas.
Третий раз прабху сказал: нет, давай все-таки какие-то условия. Так много учеников у тебя ушло там. Многие получили, даже не понимая инициации, что такое инициация, что такое движение Харе Кришны, да, они еще вообще ничего не знают, философию не знают, книг толком не читали. Давай не будем рисковать, давай все-таки, какие-то хотя бы тесты для них сделаем.
Yātudhānīs said no, because not to lose devotees, let's better do tests for them, not to lose them. At the moment, he has been living for a long time in Sweden. He has been translating Prabhupada's book for a long time. So he made up questions. For example, the 3 modes of material nature. What is that? The mode of goodness. We all knew that. But nobody could give the definition from the Bhagavad Gita. But we thought that we know everything. But of course we know what is it, the mode of goodness, mode of... And he prevented us. You think that you know, but you have to give an exact definition. All that we knew was almost half of our speculations of our minds. If we count that, what initiation could be spoken of? We didn't know even the simplest things. I remember myself thinking, like, what's the need in that exact definitions? Afterwards, I realized how important it is to know the exact Krishna's words. We should be precise when we speak about knowledge. When we can do it exactly, precisely. For example, I will give an example from my material experience. As an artist, we learned the human body, the proportion of human body. There is the whole law that should be known. There is a diagram, you should know it. The structure, you should know it. You should measure that, the proportion, once again and once again. You measure your angles to be sure that your structure is exact. Well, and afterwards you do not need to make this diagram, to make this structure. If you've done your measurements right, you can paint it once. That's what Prabhupada does. When he speaks, it's very exact. The answer comes at the same time. This is the difference between Jnana and Vijnana. Vijnana can be done on the spot, but it is based on the knowledge. Of course, not all of us can remember. Our memory is weak in Kali Yuga. We remember something and something we forget. Mainly in Kali Yuga people remember stories. And although these stories, they are not chronologically set in these scriptures, we can get lost sometimes. The same thing in Srimad Bhagavatam. The chronology can be different. It is described by the steps of spiritual development. It was meant that towards the 10th canto we should have that understanding, that structure. Rasa Lila has happened when Krishna is young. So it happens earlier, before the time he lived in Dvaraka, in Mathura, before the Kurukshetra, but we learn it vice versa. We start from the story of Pandavas, and in the 10th canto we come to the Rasa Lila. Why is it so? Why couldn't we start with Vrindavan at Dhama? Because Krishna was born there. Chronologically right. Chronologically, that would be right. But from the spiritual point of view, we should follow the way of development of our consciousness. So it's vice versa. Historians, they usually think that's not logical, not scientific, but it is very scientific in fact. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always full of 6 opulences, namely complete wealth, complete strength, complete fame, complete knowledge, complete beauty, and complete renunciation. Again, it may be difficult to understand. what does it mean, complete beauty, complete fame? Well, I look at Krishna. Complete beauty, is it? How can I understand? Is there no beauty otherwise? No, I should understand that all the beauty is his beauty. But Maya says, oh, this is a very beautiful person. And we forget Krishna. This beauty overwhelms him and he forgets Krishna. Man looks at a woman, he forgets Krishna at once. For a couple of seconds. If he sees a very beautiful woman, looks at it attentively, he forgets Krishna at the same moment. Although he looks at Krishna's beauty, in fact. But Srila Prabhupada says it's very difficult. Complete beauty, complete fame. The Lord appears in different, complete, eternal forms of incarnation. The conditioned soul has immense opportunity to hear about the transcendental activities of the Lord in these different incarnations. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Janma karmas chame divya. The pastimes and activities of the Lord are not material, they are beyond the material conception. And the conditioned soul can benefit by hearing such uncommon activities. Hearing is an opportunity to associate with God, to hear his activities, and to involve one's transcendental nature simply by hearing. The conditioned soul has a natural attitude to hear something about other conditioned souls in the form of fiction, drama, and novel. The inclination to hear something about others may be utilized in hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Then one can immediately evolve his transcendental nature. Krishna's pastimes are not only beautiful, they are also very pleasing to the mind. They also act impeccably. This remedy acts impeccably. That's why when a devotee has good sadhana, he is very difficult to be upset deeply. Because he has that joy in his heart. He doesn't let the sorrow, his ego, deep inside his heart. There is Krishna inside his heart. He protects him. The spiritual world starts with the heart. If there is this atmosphere of Krishna consciousness inside, if we get some losses, some sorrows, they don't get inside our heart. Even more, they make our faith more strong. It is said that a devotee who is such an independent spiritual creature, he will be glad with the sorrows and with some difficulties. So difficulties from the outside are not the same what they are from the inside for a devotee. Krishna protects the devotee all the time. I heard it for the first time from Ananta Shanti Prabhu when he get out from that. Psychiatry place. I also was shocked as all the other devotees, and when he came to that spiritual meeting, I looked at him. I looked at him in fear because I didn't know what happened to him. He spent 6 years in that asylum. But when I looked at him, I get calmed at once. He shone. He was smiling, talking about Krishna. Devotees listened with a deadly silence. And then some of the elders of the senior devotees asked, how could you survive that? 6 hours, all by yourself, all these years, all by yourself. But he was very calm, he said. I wasn't alone, he said. Krishna and Prabhupada, they were with me. But you couldn't chant mantra there. And you received those awful remedies. Well, he said, well, I chanted 16 rounds. Not allowed in my mind. And his Krishna consciousness was evident. Later it changed when he got into normal life. But there, in that asylum, he was clearly under Krishna's protection. It is a wonderful experience. So, it is very pleasant to the mind and to the heart. If someone takes advantage of hearing the pastimes of the Lord, the material contaminations of dust accumulated in the heart due to long association with material nature can be immediately cleansed. Lord Chaitanya also instructed that simply by hearing the transcendental name of Lord Krishna, one can cleanse the heart of all material contamination. There are different processes of self-realization, but this process of devotional service, of which hearing is the most important function, was adopted by any conditioned soul, will automatically cleanse him of the material contamination and enable him to realize his real constitutional position. So any person can practice if he has such a desire. Conditional life is due to this contamination only, and as soon as it is cleared off, then naturally the dormant function of the living entity, rendering service to the Lord, awakens. By developing his internal relationship with the Supreme Lord, one becomes eligible to create friendship with the devotees. Maharaja Parikshit recommended from practical experience that everyone try to hear about the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. This Krishna treatise is meant for that purpose, and the reader may take advantage of it to attain the ultimate goal of human life. So, the one who has attained that association with God can associate with devotees. But it is a difficult task. If a devotee is for a long time in Krishna consciousness but doesn't have friendly relationship, friendly association with devotees, that's a bad sign. That means that he's unlucky. There is a lucky soul and an unlucky soul, as Mahatmas say. Mahatmas say only lucky soul can get that devotional service. Who is the lucky soul? Lucky soul doesn't think about itself, himself. Because Krishna takes care of such a soul. But until a person thinks about himself, it is very difficult for him to be friends with someone. But if everyone is fond of serving Krishna, these devotees, they become very attached to each other on spiritual platform. They don't care whether their friend is alive or he's dead, because this association is there. Well, if he left body thinking about devotees, then everything is good. We see that Narottama is just crying, Bhaktivinoda is just crying in the separation. Well, it is a great luck. Because what can help us here in this world? close friendship can help. We can see the spiritual progress of each other. This is our help. If I progress, I can help all the others. It will be the best. If somebody develops in a spiritual way, he can help all the others. When we learned to be artists, how were we educated? We were taught from one another, we learned from one another. We were comparing ourselves with each other and trying to get better. We were all interconnected. So the devotional service should be decorated with this friendship. And this spiritual friendship is the sign of Madhyamadhikari. If devotees reach the level of Madhyamadhikari, you can think that the golden era has come. So Prabhupada says, the Lord, out of His causeless mercy, descends to this material world and displays His activities just like an ordinary man. Unfortunately, the impersonalists or the atheistic class or men consider Krishna to be an ordinary man like themselves, and so they deride Him. This is condemned in Bhagavad Gita by the Lord Himself when He says, the mudhas or rascals take Krishna to be an ordinary man or a slightly more powerful man. Out of their great misfortune, they cannot accept Him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes such unfortunate persons misrepresent themselves as incarnations of Krishna without referring to the authorized scriptures. Well, they think Krishna is an ordinary man, and afterwards they think that they are the incarnation of Krishna. When Krishna grew up a little more, he began to turn himself backside up. He learned. It's the first thing that a child learns to do. At first he lies as he was put down. He cannot. Otherwise you look, oh my God, he's backside up. He made it by himself. Amazing. So he did not merely lie down on his bed. And another function was observed by Yaśodā and Nanda Maharaja, Krishna's first birthday. They arranged for Krishna's birthday ceremony, which is still observed by all followers of the Vedic principles. Krishna's ceremony birthday is observed in India by all Hindus, irrespective of different sectarian views. All the covered men and women, were invited to participate in the Jubilee celebration. A nice band played, and the assembled people enjoyed it. In Tirupati, there is a very beautiful ISKCON temple there. One of the most beautiful temples in ISKCON. It's great. It's powerful. There is a great hotel. And there is that way to Tirumala. It's a wonderful place. And there, every morning after japa and before the greeting of deities, the cleaners, they can be devotees or just simple people who clean the temple. They clean the temple before the greeting of deities, and then the musicians came in the morning. The greeting of deities is early in the morning, so by 7 o'clock the musicians are already there with those flutes, with those Indian flutes that create a specific sound, and those drums that are so loud enormously loud. So they play, play, and play. So they just play music, they don't sing Hare Krishna. But those instruments are classical. You can have a look in the internet, Tirupati, the greeting of deities. They create a wonderful mood for meditation. We can think of to make something like that. Do we have any musicians here? But they do that in Indian style. They're very loud with those drums. It can rise even the dead one. If you sleep during your japa, then you will hear those musicians. At once you get Krishna consciousness. All the courage, men and women were invited to participate in the jubilant celebration. The bathing ceremony is technically called Abhisheka, and even today this is observed in all the temples of Vrindavan on Janmashtami Day or the birthday anniversary of Lord Krishna. This occasion, Mother Yaśodā arranged to distribute a large quantity of grain, and first-class cows decorated with golden ornaments were made ready to be given in charity to the learned respectable Brahmanas. Yaśodā took her bath and dressed herself nicely, and taking child Krishna duly dressed and bathed on her lap, she sat down to hear the Vedic hymns chanted by the Brahmanas. It would be a good idea to learn to chant Vedic hymns. In Tirupati, there is always some music playing. Usually they chant Bhagavad Gita or Brahma Samhita. I've heard Bhagavad Gita. It can last for hours. Wherever you go, far away or close, you hear those chants. Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, in a very beautiful way. They know all these rhythms, or these rules of meditation. Now we put on the recording and you're free. But actually, you should chant that with your voice. While Mother Yaśodā was listening to the chanting of the Vedic hymns, the child appeared to be falling asleep, and therefore she very slightly laid him down on the bed. Being engaged in receiving all the friends, relatives, and residents of Vrindavan on that holy occasion, she forgot to feed the child milk. He was crying, being hungry, but Mother Yaśodā couldn't hear him cry because of the various noises. The child, however, became angry because he was angry and his mother was not paying attention to him. So he lifted his legs and began to kick his lotus feet, just like an ordinary child. Baby Kṛṣṇa had been placed underneath the head-driven cart, and while he was kicking his legs, he accidentally touched the wheel of the cart and it collapsed. Various kinds of utensils and dishes made of brass and other metal had been piled up in the handcart, and they all fell down with a quick noise. The wheel of the cart separated from the axle, and the spokes of the wheel were all broken and scattered hither and thither. Mother Yaśodā and all the gopis, as well as Maharaja Nanda and the cowherd men, were astonished as to how the cart could have collapsed by itself. All the men and women who were assembled to the holy function crowded around and began to suggest how the cart might have collapsed. No one could ascertain the cause, but some small children who were entrusted to play with baby Kṛṣṇa informed the crowd that it was due to Kṛṣṇa striking his feet against the wheel. They assured the crowd that they had seen how it happened with their own eyes, and they strongly asserted the point. Some were listening to the statement of the small children, but others said, "How can you believe the statements of these children?" The cowherd men and women couldn't understand that the all-powerful personality of Godhead was lying there as a baby, and that he could do anything. Both possible and impossible were in his power. While the discussion was going on, baby Kṛṣṇa cried. With the remonstration, Mother Yaśodā picked the child up on her lap and called the learned Brahmanas to chant holy Vedic hymns to counteract the evil spirits. There was that evil spirit in that cart. What was his name? It seems that here in this book the name isn't mentioned. What was his name? Shakatasura. The demon Shakatasura. He incarnated in that cart. At the same time, she allowed the baby to suck her breast. If a child sucks the mother's breast nicely, it is to be understood that he is out of old age. After this, all the strong coward men put the broken cart in order, and all the scattered things were set up nicely as before. The Brahmanas thereafter began to offer oblations to the sacrificial fire with yogurt, butter, kusha grass, and water. They worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the good fortune of the child. Brahmanas continued to worship the Lord due to those sacrifices. Although he was present there, everybody follows its nature. The Brahmanas who were present at the time were all qualified because they were not envious. They never indulged in untruthfulness. They were never proud. They were non-violent, and they never claimed any false prestige. They were all bona fide Brahmanas, and there was no reason to think that their blessings would be useless. With firm faith in the qualified Brahmanas, Nanda Maharaja took his child on his lap and bathed him with the water mixed with various herbs, while the Brahmanas chanted hymns from the Rig, Yajur, and Sama Vedas. It is said that without being a qualified Brahmana, one shouldn't read the mantras of the Vedas. Here is the proof that the Brahmanas were qualified with all the Brahmanical symptoms. Maharaja Nanda, all mantras should be pronounced aloud, but soundless, except the mantra Hare Krishna. It can be chanted loudly. Why smarter Brahmins didn't want Lord Chaitanya to give that holy name? Because it wasn't said so in the Holy Scriptures. Those mantras were held in mind, and it was considered that if a person is not a Brahmana, he cannot chant mantra in his mind. Gayatri is given at the point when a person can control his mind, at least a little bit. Maharaja Nanda also had full faith in them. Therefore, they were allowed to perform the ritualistic ceremonies by chanting the Vedic mantras. There are many different varieties of sacrifices recommended for different purposes, but the mantras are all to be chanted by qualified Brahmanas. And because in this age of Kali, such qualified Brahmanas are not available, all Vedic ritualistic sacrifices are forbidden. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore recommended only one kind of sacrifice in this age, namely the Sankirtana Yagya, or chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. The loud chanting of mantra controls the mind. Other mantras are forbidden to be chanted aloud. Gayatri mantra, well, the second initiation is called Gayatri mantra. When he can control his mind, then it is considered that his initiation is complete. Hare Krishna mantra is given in the beginning when he cannot control his feelings, but he can chant his 16 rounds. This qualification is enough for him to develop all the other qualities and afterwards get a Gayatri mantra. Any questions, please?
от мыслей.
That comes from our thoughts.
Ум очищает тело на самом деле.
Mind cleans the body, in
во имя
fact.
ума.
The
Тело считается чистым.
cleanliness of mind
Я
means the
смотрел
cleanliness
как
of the
там,
subtle body.
это мантра есть такая.
There is such a
Кем бы ты
mantra.
был, чистым или нечистым, вспомни Сатасогу Господа Кришны.
Wherever clean you are or unclean, if you remember the lotus like Lord Krishna, you become clean. Some acharyas say, farewell to my everyday baths, because now I remember Krishna. But in fact, we should keep our body clean to help keep clean our mind. That affects our mind. If our food is clean, our body is clean, we can elevate our mind. When his body is clean from the inside, he gets beyond these rules and instructions. So great minds, when they think about Krishna, their mind becomes purified. Even their bodies, they do not contaminate the surroundings. There was one saint. He lived before revolution. He followed all the four principles, and he worked a lot. Because he had to live all by himself. So he wrote a lot of food, a lot of crops. When he left, his body remained the same. Then revolution came, and religion was forbidden. But for those who believed, his body was a strong reminder. They saw his body and they could feel that spirit, the spirit of God consciousness. And they regained their faith. People regained their faith by looking at it. But communists put it somewhere, hide it somewhere. And they tried to define whether it was a mummy or something, or was it handmade? They couldn't believe. And it could have been lost, but afterwards some change became, so the church found that body and they restored it. So, and from this body you can feel that spirit. Perhaps they made something with this body, perhaps they smeared it with something. In one Buddhist temple in Ulan-Ude, there is such a remnants of a monk. After 70 years after he was buried, they opened the tomb and they find out that his body was soft and not changed. So this example helped a lot of people to address God, to believe in Him. And when this tomb was opened, a lot of people got cured. This secret is in human's mind. If a person gets control of his mind, he can get control of everything. This is our mood that counts. Pūtanā, when she sucked that life from Krishna, he understood his position. Am I right, Guru Maharaj, that while there is no humility and the conscious of your own position, you cannot realize God? If you will practice your humility all by yourself, you will get into another extremity. It will be false humility. You will never consider yourself good enough. You should practice your humility, you should work in it, but you should also listen to what elders say, seniors say. If the seniors recommend you something, for example, that you are ready for something, you should accept it humbly. The question is, dear Guru Maharaj, please accept our humble obeisances.
Что за академия отношений? Можешь прокомментировать? Академия отношений.
What is that academy of relationship?
Что за академия отношений?
Who is this a devotees organization? Who puts up the question?
Из академии отношений у нас вопрос.
So we have a question from Academy of Relationship. How do we pray before the altar? My altar is the holy name of Krishna, if you ask me. My altar is the holy name. Holy name opens deities, opens Krishna, opens those relationships with him. Holy name has created this John Favors Institute, those ISKCON organization, and lots of temples all over the world. And when the holy name is revealed, that form of deities and those relationship with them become evident. You not always. It is not always that you should ask something for Krishna. Perhaps it is even better just to admire him. Kirtanam. You can live in this mood all your life. Glorify, wonder Krishna, describe him. But sometimes still I want something. Well, I glorified you. Give me something at least. At least anything. Earlier it seems to me that I had more desires. Although I had never had so many materialistic desires, I was rather disappointed in the material nature. But of course, I was interested in mystic powers at some time. My all spiritual efforts started with that desire. But more than that, I was interested in life after death. But of course, I didn't ask him to die. But of course, I wanted to get prema. Of that I asked. But in some time, I realized that I am a little bit oppressing. Give me prema, give me prema, give me prema. Here you are, get your prema. Some of my disciples are just like that. Give me the mercy, Srila Gurudev. But just take it. It is in your service. Your mercy is in your service. Prema, prema, prema. I understood that I should be loyal and tolerant in some way. It should be from the heart. I should wait for Krishna's mercies. It seemed more harmonious for me. Prema should come itself. Just I like just to chant Kirtan in front of deities, to read Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the best. To feel the presence of deities at home, it's very good. Whatever you do, you know that Krishna is here. Guru Parampara is here.
Большая шилограмма Шила.
We also have big shalagram here at our home.
На нее посмотрите, и все мистические силы восприятия.
It's mystic. You take a look at it and you get all mystic powers.
Развивает мистические силы.
It develops the mystic powers.
Поэтому мы все здесь станем мистиками, конечно.
So we'll all be
Есть
mystics
Шила.
here in this house.
Подаренный подарок.
I also have Nrsimha
Есть
Shila.
гирирадж, два
It is a
гирираджа.
present. I have 2 Girirajas.
Один гирирадж у нас есть Джаганат.
We have Jagannath Giriraj.
Форма Джаганатхи.
He has that shape of
Он между Гавриной
Jagannath.
стоит.
He's between the Gauranitai. This is
Там
a
можно
Shila.
глаза расписать, поскольку он Джаганат, можно было нарисовать
We can
Джаганатхи, а форма уже готова.
draw him eyes because it's a
Там
Jagannath,
правильная форма
but
Джаганатхи.
his form is, his shape is
Правее вот
already
большая,
there.
Варикана Шила,
And
подаренная
on the right, it's
Бхакти Вринда
big
Говинда
Shalagram
Махараджа.
Shila. It is a present for Bhakti Vrinda Govinda Maharaj. In the year 2000, if it seems to me. So it is almost 20 years. So he said to me that it develops the love to Krishna, develops a relationship with Krishna. It's an extraordinary Shiva. If you take him into your hands, you will feel that extraordinary power. You do him a massage, you dress him. These deities are self-manifested. We even saw his feet there. The feet are seen there. We have also a Shalagram Gopal, little, very tiny Jagannatha that can stand on the on the rose petal. We have Lakshmi Narasimhadev, and here is he. He is.
Также есть украшающие формы алтаря.
Also we have that shapes that just decorate the altar. We have Matsya with Vedas on her head. That was made by my daughter, Raja Devi.
В форме рыбы. И расписала ее, доделала, с нее Матси Дева.
She made it by herself.
Вот. Что еще Гурчанка скажешь об алтаре? Что у нас там?
Gaurachandra, what can you say about the altar?
Кришна, это из Удупи Кришна привезли эту форму.
This is the shape.
Вот эта форма.
This Krishna is from Udupi. We don't worship him, he is just as the ornament of the altar. We don't do him puja, but he is present there. Yantra is beyond him. Gaurachandrika is main pujarin Shakti and also Raja Devi.
Я лишь наслаждаюсь красотой алтаря, прихожу.
I only admire the beauty of the altar, chant
Читаем
kirtans.
здесь книги о Кришне.
I read books about Krishna here
Становится
in the
очень
presence of
удивительным.
deities. That becomes very
Вот
holy.
эти цветы, это с улицы,
Those
потому что сейчас розы дают
flowers
на нашей территории.
are
Сейчас
taken
очень пышно цветет роза.
from our garden
В саду,
because now
который
is the
цветет,
time
это
of
такая
rose blooming.
вьющаяся
You
роза.
see, it's
Это очень красивое растение.
very
Много
beautiful
такие пышные,
plant.
такие гряды дают цветов.
gives so many
Сейчас такой сезон, и
flowers.
вот потом
And now
алтарь
is the
пышно
season.
украшен этот
That's
сезон.
why our altar
До
is
этого
so
были
beautifully
ирисы,
decorated.
сейчас уже распускаются
Before that we had
хризантемы,
other
появляются.
flowers.
Что же, лилии появляются, цветы. Сентябрины тут также у нас цветущие будут. Так что круглый год, а парковки
The whole
круглый
year
год будут цветы для алтаря.
will have
Овощи
flowers
тоже выращиваются.
for the altar because after
Растения
roses
буквально
other flowers
так,
will bloom.
тоже
And
предлагается
the
цветы
fruits
Рождества.
are also
Каждый день обновляется.
offered to deities every day.
И все это, конечно, удивительно, прекрасно.
All that is wonderful.
Прабхупада говорит, когда вы чистите периферналии, вы чистите
Prabhupada
свое
says,
сердце.
when you clean the
Когда вы украшаете Господа,
paraphernalias,
украшается
you
ваша
clean
душа.
your heart.
Так же,
When
как
you
оригинал украшает в зеркале,
decorate
даже ничтожество
decorate
не
the deities your soul becomes decorated. It's like the reflection in the mirror. The more beautiful you decorate the deities, the more beautiful is your soul. That's how we practice bhakti yoga in our ashram. Rajadevi has her own altar. She has Ladhu Gopal, whom she worships from her childhood. It was her first deity. She fell in love with him when she was a child. He had his own swing once, and afterwards a lot of other deities come. She's initiated a disciple of Indradimna Swami. She listens to his lectures. She creates in Krishna consciousness. She sings, she dances. That's how we live by the whole family. But we also have our spiritual family with all the devotees. So we make these translations, chant Pūtanās, we spend holidays together. Sometimes we make a little barbecue outside with all the devotees. How is called this? This food, yeah? We do the seitan, it's vegetarian meat, and we can offer it to Krishna. we eat it with great appetite.
Не, где? Который Кришна? Металлический? Нет, тот был из дерева, из сандала. Это была старая история. Тот Кришна, я даже не знаю, где он сейчас. Это было очень давно. Наверное, кому-то мы подарили его.
Where is our wooden Krishna? We gave it out to somebody for a long time ago. Yes, those Krishna was with flute, and I asked the flute myself. And this is an Udupi Krishna. We got Ramachandra and Krishna at the same time. Ramachandra isn't installed. We dress him and we serve him on Ramanavami. It's a festival deity. But I like very much this shape. It is so classic, so traditional. His length of arms, the proportion of his body, the decorations of his body. This is Hanuman with the mountain. And here is our secret. We shall not tell about it. It's the secret of the secrets. We are getting ready to reveal it when the time comes. Well, do you have any other questions? The Academy of Relationships. Dear Guru Maharaj, how can I understand if I do my duties in Krishna consciousness, my everyday duties in Krishna consciousness or not? How can you understand? Only your motivation counts. From the outside it looks the same, but what do you wait for? It can be difficult to see, to understand. That's why important thing is to continue this service, and the situation itself will reveal it to you. Well, why sometimes a devotee is so upset? That's his motivation. That was his motivation. He did something and he wanted at least to be respected for what he does. It seems that we have no other motivation. I serve Krishna, I do everything, I follow my sadhana. So, if you do everything in Krishna consciousness, why then you are upset? That because of the material motivation. That's how it becomes revealed. I'm attached to glory, to respect paid towards myself. I can be patient with a devotee who doesn't say good things toward me. Perhaps he's bad bred, but I cannot help being upset. Or perhaps I've been serving Krishna for a long time and I have no money. Again, I become upset. I was waiting for something from my spiritual practice. Well, the instruction is the same. Still continue to serve, be strong, have that strength to continue your way in spiritual life. Everything will come in its time. Yes, we should make some way in Krishna consciousness. Self-realization. We should see the obstacle. If we don't see the obstacle, we'll never see our faults. When we have knowledge, we progress better, faster. To chant Hare Krishna in knowledge is a different thing from chanting it in ignorance. That's why also we get this knowledge about ourselves. Okay, it is seen now that I am not that good. I've been practicing Hare Krishna for so long, and now I see that I am worse than Karmi. No, you weren't. You didn't become worse, just you hide those things from yourselves. So don't be upset, be happy that you see those things, your obstacles. You become purified, you see the obstacles, now you can conquer them, solve those problems, fight those obstacles. You shouldn't hurry up to get a spiritual master. It should be conscious thing. You chant as you can, and the teacher will come. Anybody can chant the mantra, initiated and not initiated, anyone. Another question? About the chanting mantra in mind. In the Vedic sacrifices, Brahmanas chant mantras loudly. That is said in Mahabharata. During the ceremonies, yes, they should chant loudly. When they meditate on mantra, they say it soundlessly. Mantra means man is mind, right? The purification. It is in your mind. Mantra. As Gayatri. Prabhupada explains this in a different way. Gaya is a song, but also Gaya is a sin. Trayate means the purification, so purification from sins. This purification happens in our mind. Until I understand that this is sin, I will never be purified. And only mantra can help.
И также мантра, Хари Кришна мантра, хоть мы ее громко поем, она должна войти в ум, иначе это не мантра.
Mantra Hare Krishna, although we chant it loudly, it should come into our mind, otherwise it is not mantra. Another question?
Ну, я не думаю, что так категорично сказать, что кроме преданных Господа Кришны, скажем, или ISKCON.
I don't think that is so strict that only the devotees in ISKCON are saint. There are saints in all other traditions. There are saint Christians or saint Muslims. You should remember that. We should keep in mind that there are a lot of different ways to the same goal. We should realize that they progress spiritually also. We shouldn't glorify only ourselves, because we are devotees of Krishna. Well, but in general it is correct. All are in Maya, who don't worship Lord. Another question. Is it true that we should relax? That we should relax to get prema? It doesn't seem very right to relax and let Krishna do whatever he wants. It's something false. It's passive. But we practice active state where if you serve a spiritual master, you will be made to refuse from your false or you serve Vaishnavas. It's the same thing. You can get it through service. And Krishna reveals to you whenever he wants. That's up to him. The last question. Why did Pūtanā get a place in Goloka and other demons were just revealed, were just liberated? The difference is that she fed Krishna with her milk. That's the difference. Yes, it isn't equal. That exists also there. It can be different. That was very important fact, that she fed Krishna with her milk. Krishna accepted her as his mother. You see, it's very important thing to feed with your milk. Notwithstanding everything, she had her own milk. So even the demon, she had her own feelings. She had her feelings toward Krishna. She was a mother. She was a mother still, after everything.
Это не раса. Это не раса, нет. Это подмена, конечно же. Она лжегуру.
It is not rasa. It is substitution. She is a false guru. She is lying. She's a cheater. Demons, they don't have rasa, but they imitate it. Well, she imitated that rasa, but Krishna was serious. Krishna was serious. Somebody pretended to be Krishna's father, perhaps. I have never heard about that, but perhaps. Why cannot it be? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.